Hello, friends. Welcome back to episode 17 of our Sheep and Wool School podcast. And today is going to be a little bit different than normal because I haven't done any sewing, any stitching, any knitting, any spinning. I have been knee deep in packing orders. And by the time I get done packing orders, I don't have any energy left for anything creative. So that is a wonderful, wonderful problem to have, and we are very grateful. I wanted to show you something that came in the mail this week. It is a lovely little portrait of one of our sheep, Darla, and one of my Instagram followers painted this little portrait. And when I saw it, I knew immediately that that was Darla. And the whole thing is probably about maybe 4 inches across. It's a very tiny little painting in the cutest, sweetest little frame. And I actually have it on my nightstand next to my bed now because I want to see Darla when I wake up in the morning because we miss our sheep very badly. And that's just something that makes me smile is seeing her in a frame on the side of my bed. I also have a portrait in my room done by a friend in North Carolina of Scooter's Shetland ewe and her twins, Jack and Jill. Jack went on to be the father of all of our Shetland flock, and I love the painting that he did from a photo that we showed him when we were at SAF many, many years ago. So I have portraits of my sheep in my room, in my house, everywhere. My phone is just full of sheep photos, but I don't think you'd expect anything different of me. So that's the truth. So we will go right into sheep and wool school today. Today I wanted to kind of talk about how to use the Wensleydale fiber because it is so luscious and so lustrous and so long stapled. It's beautiful. I absolutely adore it. You may remember that last March, Thea Coleman launched the Last Word cardigan, or I'm sorry, the Last Word vest, which I knitted in our yarn, which is called Ashen. So that is the Last Word vest on me. It is a really cool sort of lacy cable. I absolutely love it. It's just amazing. And we launched it last year at Nash Yarn Fest, but since we were talking about Wensleydale this week, I thought that I would show it to you again. That's by Thea Coleman, who is Baby Cocktails, and it's called the Last Word Vest. And we have plenty of that yarn left because there's really, really hardly anything at all left on the website. But there is still a lot of the Ashen Wensleydale. So I kind of wanted to talk about that while I was talking about Wensleydales this week. So the thing that I like best about Wensleydales is the luster to them. This is some of the comb top that we have on the website. There's just a little tiny bit of it left, but it has this amazing luster to it. I don't know if you can see the studio lights hitting it and how shiny it is, but it is just almost glossy. And it has such a long staple length. I'm going to hold this up here against the white paper so you can see how long that staple length is. So I'd say that's easily a 5 or 6 inch staple length. And most people are shearing their Wensleydales twice a year. So that's why it's not a 12-inch staple length. So that is comb top from the UK, from our friend Long Draw James's flock. And one of the things that I love about the Wensleydale when I'm working with it is I can spin it like frog's hair fine, or I can spin a nice big bulky. It works really well for long draw. It works really well spun from the fold if you want to incorporate a little bit of air into it. And with this comb top processing, it it will spin up absolutely frog's hair fine. So if you're looking for something to make a beautiful shawl with that's going to last a really long time, I would suggest spinning some Wensleydale, because that beautiful gloss, that high luster, is really going to make whatever you decide to do with it really just shine. The thing that I like to do best with the Wensleydale is anything with cables, because the stitch definition is so good, and even the dark colors can be dyed any color you'd like. I think this one with some green over top of it would be absolutely amazing. They're so very versatile, and they're such beautiful sheep. I think when we rebuild the flock, there we might find some Wensleydales in my flock. Since I've been really working with Wensleydales and studying them so much more, I really think I'd like to have a couple of them just for the fleeces. So don't be real surprised if you see Wensleydales being added to the Ross Farm lineup of flock members here sometime in the near future. We are we are moving forward with all of our plans. So if you have any questions about Wensleydale, if you have any experiences with Wensleydale that you would like to share with us, please feel free to drop a comment down below. And as always, it's very important for you to like and follow and share and subscribe to the channel, so that we can keep presenting more breeds. We are getting ready for March next week. So next week we'll have a brand new breed, and we will be getting ready to launch the subscription box on the website, so that if you do want to follow along month by month with our breed of the month on the Sheep and Wool School podcast, you'll be able to do that starting in April. So we will do signups starting probably next week, and everybody who is signed up by about the 15th of March will get their packages in time to start in April with our follow along series with the subscription box. So Sheep and Wool School is expanding, and now you'll be able to get either fiber or yarn in all of the breeds that we do, along with some fun little gadgets and just good little accessories and notions to tuck into your knitting bag or your spinning Zuka bag. I don't know, whatever you're taking with you. So I'm really excited about that. Now, I know you really want to hear about the new and noteworthy things, and I just need to remind you that our UK sheep tour is still a go, and we are still planning to go in July if we meet our minimum number. So you will see all the information about the UK sheep and wool tour up on the screen here momentarily. And again, you can just go to the website, and or you can email me at info@therossfarm.com, or you can go to the website and click a link there that will take you directly to some information about our epic sheep adventure. So on top of that, I thought I would give you a little update on the barn fire. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of the support that we have gotten from the community. It just makes me cry every time I think about it. I I'm not good at asking for help. My generation, I don't think we were told that we could, but I'm not good at asking for help, and I'm really not good at accepting help. But it just means the world to me that everyone believes in what we do so much and is willing to support trying to come back to that. So I will just give you a quick update on the condition of the barn right now, which is completely demolished. It has been completely razed down to down to the concrete pad, which will be coming out next. But all of the block foundation walls, because it is a Pennsylvania bank barn, so the barn part actually starts on what you would consider the second floor. The first floor is a block foundation that the sheep lived in, and the fire was so hot for so long that it actually made the block, you can see in the picture, the block foundation under the barn, it actually made it so brittle that when you went to touch it, it would just crumble. So we will have to totally rebuild the first floor foundation, which is not a terrible thing because now we can make it just a smidge taller so that we can get the skid loader in there to clean the manure out a little more easily. It, of course, was a 1910 barn with a 1910 foundation and all of the super de duper technology of 1910. So we actually had to buy our first skid loader based on the height of the doorway so that we could get it inside to clean the manure. So we've got a new skid loader picked out, and it's on loan to us right now while we test drive it to see that it goes in where we need it to go in and it turns around where we need it to turn around and that it's not going to get stuck in those places. Then there are also going to be two in-person fundraisers coming up. The first one is a chili cook-off in Washington, PA, actually Hickory, PA, at the Red Fox Winery and Lounge. And our friend Nate Mass from Washington, PA Food Group, who worked a lot with Drew on lamb-based cooking challenges and worked with Drew on Running of the Wolves and was really a good friend to my son. He planned this with the Red Fox Lodge and then let us know that it was going to happen. So next Saturday, from 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, I'm not sure which, they will be cooking big vats of chili as a competition. And if you go, you can taste all the chilies. And then there will be prizes awarded, and it will benefit our rebuilding fund, which is really exciting. And starting at 10 or 11 a.m., there will be another fundraiser, this time at a little yarn shop in the Bellevue area of Pittsburgh called Moon and Yarn. And I'm so excited about it. Melinda and I are both going to be there. It's from 11 to 5. We're going to be there at 11. And then at 1, I'm going to head over to the chili cook-off, and Melinda is going to stay at the yarn store until that is over. And I'm pretty sure that you're going to want to see Ashes and Phoenix making their public debut at the yarn store at 11 a.m. next Saturday, the 28th. So I'm really excited about both of those things. The shop owner in Bellevue, Brienne, she reached out to us and said this is something she wanted to do, and as did Red Fox Winery and Lounge and Nate Mass. So we're really grateful for both of those things. We continue to plan our forward motion, and this week we learned that having a kit made for a new recreation of our old barn was going to be multiple hundreds of $1,000s outside of our foreseeable price range. Really expensive, yo. So we are still moving forward with, we're up to now 4 different antique barns that are around the same age as our barn was. Some of them are a little bit different in style, but I really wanted to be to make the loss of our barn the rebirth of another barn that would either be burnt or torn down if it was not saved and moved someplace else. So we are looking at one in the Claysville, Pennsylvania area, one in the Bentleyville area, one very close to the farm in 84, and one on the farm in 84. We actually have an 1883 barn across the road that we haven't been able to keep animals in my lifetime because it's so far from the main house and predator issues, and there's no water or electricity over there. So it was a place that we, when I was a very small child, would have leased out for cattle to graze because that was about it. It could be used for shelter for cattle in inclement weather, but they had to drink from the stream. And if it was bad weather, if it was cold and the stream was frozen, then there was no water. So it was not a place where we could keep animals year round. And so in the last several years, because of the coyotes and bobcats in our area, we don't have animals on that side of the property. So the very cool thing about that is that farm is 1883, and it actually predates my great grandfather building our farm. There was a cabin behind it that does not survive, but it was built by somebody named H. Connor in 1883. So I don't have an answer for that one. But that was, that's, I'm not sure how I feel about moving it. I'd love to be able to use it, but I'd also love to have a bigger barn that was a little bit more modern and a little bit more of what we had. So it's all up in the air right now. We're weighing the costs and benefits of, I got to do a cost benefit analysis. That MBA I got is just not going to leave me alone. We have to figure out what's going to be most cost effective and also most effective for our purposes. So excited about that. And then this week, Melinda and I also went on a little sheepy visit. So that was very exciting. We went to visit a flock of Black Welsh Mountain sheep in a little town outside of where we live called Cecil, PA. And that is a 2-day-old Black Welsh Mountain lamb. And we've always sort of been a little bit obsessed with Black Welsh Mountains, but it was one of those things that we figured were like farther away and would take a bit of doing to actually get them here. But when we discovered that there was a Black Welsh Mountain farmer about 30 minutes from the farm, I started really seriously considering them. They have the males have amazing sets of horns. They kind of look like battle bots. But this is one of my favorite little ewes. I'm hoping she's one of the ones that will be able to come to our house when the time is right. But I went to visit Justin and his flock of Black Welsh Mountains, and I got to hold a day-old lamb, and that kind of fed my lamb fever right now, because I've been seeing everybody's photos online of their new lambs, and honestly, it makes me really, really sad. And so I've been visiting my friends who have lambs and, like, snorting a few so that I don't get quite so sad. So we also have a couple of, I have one new yarn to tell you about. It is actually one of my favorites. It is spun from our flock of Cheviots, and it is dyed in the wool and then spun and then randomly plied. So it has a lot of variation to each of the skeins. I always say that we may have some fraternal twins, but we don't have any identical twins, because just whenever the ply changes, and it becomes this amazing multicolored. We used all the colors of the rainbow in this one. There's apricot and blue and green and um, a pretty nice magenta and purple. And you will find, oh, and there's also some like daffodil yellow. So you'll find almost every shade in each skein. It's pretty crazy. But our new mill made this, and it is so squishy and so soft and round and plump. I'm like loving this. And I was so, so glad that it was able to come home now. And they were almost done with it when all of this stuff happened, because this is how we found out that we had errors in our online website inventory and systems, because our inventory for Funky, this particular yarn, um, was not picking up the inventory from the database. So it just let everybody buy as much Funky as they wanted to, like 100 skeins more than we actually had. So that was kind of a problem. And luckily, I've been working really, really closely with the mills that we use, and it was next up, anyways. So they were able to rush it through and get some out to me. So today, this one is actually on its way out the door to some wonderful person who ordered it after the fire. So I'm really excited. I have a little bit of it left that has not been pre ordered, which is what we're calling it now when I have orders for things that don't exist. Pre orders. So it is going out the door today to someone who is waiting on their order that includes Funky. So if you had an order that included Funky, it's getting shipped now. We ran out of that. But the new stuff is gorgeous and you will love it. I think that's about all the new stuff to talk about. We were out and about this week. So, Valentine's Day was last Saturday, and Mr. Wonderful the Hat King, he took me to a lovely little restaurant um, down in the Merriman Valley outside of Akron called Papa Joe's, and it was founded in 1932 in like the front room of their house in Akron, and it's now grown to be this beautiful, amazing Italian restaurant. And they have this chicken dish there that we absolutely love, and the best fried zucchini I've ever had in my life. Super light, super just, oh, delicious, just perfectly seasoned with homemade ranch to dip it in. So we went there for Valentine's Day. And when we get done recording today, we're going to go to the Jeni's ice cream that's up the road, because we have been trying repeatedly to go and try the new Bridgerton ice cream collab. There is one called Earl Grey Creme Brulee, which, if you know me, is like the two things I love put together. I love Earl Grey tea is pretty much the only thing I drink. Um, and creme brulee is like, I mean, that's delicious. What's not to love about that? I probably maybe like pavlova's more than creme brulee, but there's no pavlova ice cream, so I'm just gonna go with this. And then last night we took a trip in the Wayback Machine to our childhood, and we stopped at a place in St. Clairsville, Ohio, called Mehlman's Cafeteria. Now, they opened in like the early 60s. I want to say 1962 or 63. And it is a honest to God cafeteria, like with trays and a line and people scooping food onto a plate. It's like a scene out of Mad Men. It's exactly what you imagine when you think of a cafeteria. Not like a school cafeteria, but like a restaurant cafeteria. And everything was delicious. Of course, I had to have baked steak, which is what I always get when I go to a cafeteria restaurant. But it was just really, really cool to sort of go back in time. I used to go to Mehlman's with my parents and my son when he was very small. before we would go to Oglebay Park in Wheeling, West Virginia, to see the Christmas lights. So it was sort of surreal being there just with John and without the rest of my family. Um, I was not prepared for that. It turned into a bit of a weepy evening, but you know me, I try to be positive. It was delicious. Everything was wonderful. It was everything I remembered it ever was. So that was the good thing. Um, yeah. So that was what we did for out and about this week. We didn't really get out and about a whole lot because literally shipping orders all day, every day. But we did, in season, we did go hit the local church, St. Mary's, for their Lenten seafood dinner. And they have 3 more weeks of that, I believe. Easter is on April 5th, so I think there's 3 more weeks. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be there every Friday because it's really good. This week I had Pierogi Lady pierogies. I am not Polish or Slovak, but I do love me some pierogies. So that was really good. And I went out with my best friend Beth. We spent a little bit of time together to get my head cleared out after just all of the stuff that I've been dealing with the last couple of weeks. And we stopped at a Trader Joe's and they had spring flowers, and I picked up a hyacinth in a pot, and it made me incredibly happy because we had like 4 days here that were in the 50s, and now we have 2 inches of snow again, and it's supposed to snow for another 4 days. So I just don't look out the window and go sniff my hyacinth and pretend that it is spring and think about taking the Jeep out with the top down. Because at this stage in my life, that's what I look forward to. And I do have a little bit of bad news. So we always talk about where we're going on down the road. And we're going to Nash Yarn Fest. We're going to Maryland Sheep and Wool. But unfortunately, we're not going to make it to Carolina Fiber Fest. And here's why. I don't have anything left to take. You guys ordered so much through the website that I finally came to the realization that, like, I don't have enough to fill a double booth. I don't have enough to fill a single booth. And the new stuff from the mills that was scheduled to come back this spring won't be here in time for me to take it with me to Carolina. So we're hopeful that it will get here in time for Nash Yarn Fest. But right now, if you go over to the website and look around, it is like dust bunnies and tumbleweeds, which is a wonderful problem to have. But I, I really, really hate disappointing people. I really hate telling people that I don't think I can do something because they've trusted me to show up and to have a beautiful display and to add something to the ambiance of their show. That's how I feel. I feel like I am all of the vendors are like the decor for the particular show. So I don't want to show up if you see what's left behind me, I don't want to show up with that. That's really sad. I want to see all of our Carolina friends, but I also want to have something in my bins. And right now, I just don't. So we had to make the incredibly hard decision this morning to pull out of Carolina Fiber Fest just for being completely out of stock of nearly everything. So I do very much apologize for that. If you were planning on seeing us at Carolina, it breaks my heart to not go, but I don't have anything left. I gotta restock and get everything labeled and prepped and ready to go. And when this came back from the mill the other day, and I put it up online and said, I'm sending out your orders. If you ordered funky, I'm sending out your orders. I must have had 10 comments and at least 15 DMs saying, oh my God, I want that. How can I get it? And I hate saying, like, you can't have any unless you show up at Carolina, Nash Yarn Fest, or Maryland. But I'm really thinking that if I put it up on the website, it'll be gone too. So I only have a few skeins of this left. So we'll see. I'm probably going to put it up on the website, and I'm probably going to sell out of it too, which is, again, a wonderful problem to have. I've already called the mill and scheduled, I have just a little bit of our Cheviot fleece left from 2025, and I've already scheduled for another run of this, so hopefully by fall we will have more. But that's where I am right now, is just trying to get everything back into the office here from the mills that we work with. So thank you, and I'm sorry. Just apply whichever one fits your current situation. I'm sorry we won't be there, but thank you for buying it all. So again, we'll try to be at Nash Yarn Fest, and Maryland Sheep and Wool, we're definitely going to be there. It sounds like I'm going to be in a panel discussion, and Melinda is going to be cheering for one of the Sheep to Shawl teams. So come and cheer us on, I guess. I don't know. We're bringing our friends Hez and probably Kathy with us, maybe Linda. So we'll see you on down the road. I am very hopeful. And as always, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you're most excited about with the spring show season. And follow us at Ross Farm Fibers on Facebook, Ross Farm on Instagram. Email us at info@therossfarm, or slide on over to the website at therossfarm.com to see if I've put anything up that is for sale now. So until the next time, we'll see you soon.